What's up, guys? I'm coming to you today from my home gym, which we recently built out. It's in my garage. Today, I'm going to show you 4 simple exercises that I use in my program to bulletproof your knees. There's not a lot of flair, but you will get a tremendous amount of value if you get these exercises right. Most of you know I've got issues with my right knee, and I've had that for many, many years. Torn cartilage, loose articular bodies, I'm bone on bone. So what do I do to be able to lift heavier weights effectively? I want you to pay close attention to detail, make the mind-body connection. You're gonna focus on the glutes, hamstrings, and quads. We're also gonna throw in an exercise for your calves in order to stabilize your ankle. And as we know, the ankle complex gets a lot weaker as we get older, so it's important not only for aesthetics, but for function. So you're not going to need a lot for this workout. All you'll need is a platform that's about a foot off of the ground. You'll need either a set of kettlebells or a set of dumbbells, and you'll need a surface that allows for ankle flexion and extension. If you do this right, your legs are going to be on fire. And the great thing about it is that it's easy on the joints and it doesn't require a lot of weight. All right, I'm ready. Let's go. All right, guys, for the first exercise, I'm going to be using my kettlebell rack. This is where I keep all of my kettlebells. You can take a look. Very, very simple. Yes, my kettlebell rack. It's exactly a foot off of the floor, and it's extremely stable, so I can apply a lot of force into the rack, which then puts force into the muscles that I'm looking to train. I'm going to show you the way that I found is most effective for me, and that engages more of the hamstring and the glute at the same time we work the quads. We'll start with our foot up on the platform. So whatever platform you have, mine again is my rack. I'm going to shift my weight forward at my hips. So I'm going to put all my weight into my hamstrings and my glute. I'm going to have hands in front. My back leg is going to be stiff and slightly behind. So if you're looking at lining up your feet, I've got my back foot lined up approximately with my heel. Shifting weight forward, I'm going to put all my tension into the hamstrings and glute as I press up. You'll see as I come back, leg goes stiff. I'm trying to pretend like I have nails on the floor, and I can put my feet on the nails, but if I put my feet on the nails too hard, it'll go through. So I don't want the nails to go through my feet. I want to gently tap, maintaining tension on the quadriceps the entire time. So that's number 6. Our goal is to get to 20. Now when I'm doing this, I'm engaging the hamstrings and the glutes first, and then finishing hard with the quad. And as I come down, I'm trying to put more pressure on my quadriceps. And you'll see you need ankle mobility when you're doing this exercise. If you have ankle mobility, it's a lot easier to come down, barely tap, and press up. So I'm already feeling a significant amount of burn. And when you start to feel that significant amount of burn, your balance may start to go. You may start to feel some ankle instability. So I'm going to do about 3 or 4 more reps. Again, really concentrating on driving from hamstrings, glutes, and quads all at the same time. Quadriceps are on fire. I feel my glutes big time. I'm going to transition immediately into my opposite leg. This is the leg that I have the articular cartilage, loose bodies, and I've got the bone on bone on the lateral supporting condyle of my finger. So this is painful for me. I have to make sure that I work through it carefully. So on this side, I have very little strength and power at the bottom portion of the lift. So I'm going to make sure that I lean forward. And one of the reasons why I use my kettlebell rack is so I have something to put my hand on in case I need balance or support. So I'm going to lean forward the waist. I'm going to take my abs, pull in tight, tuck them extra tight so I've got a nice strong foundation at my spine. And I'm going to drive my foot into, and you'll see that first rep's tough to me, driving my foot into the rack. So I'm really pressing hard. Typically for me, with my condition in my right knee, it takes me a few reps to get warm, but I want to make sure that I don't cheat. So now I'm starting to get into a rhythm. I feel that instability and pain at the bottom, but I'm able to work through it. So when we're talking about pain, what should you really push through and what shouldn't you push through? I'm well aware of my condition. Exercising it is not going to make it any worse. What I found is that not exercising it makes it feel far worse and stiff. So the less I move, the worse my condition gets. So my best option is to strengthen the knee. Not just the quadriceps, but the glutes and the hamstrings as well. Now, if you did that right, you should be out of breath. So I've got a wrist monitor on that works sometimes, not all the time. I'm at 130 beats a minute. So my heart rate is elevated. I'm gonna move quickly into the next exercise, which is a simple body weight calf raise. Now, the good thing is I'm still able to use my kettlebell rack. It's got a good amount of weight on it. It's not gonna fall over. Make sure you choose a stable surface to do it. So I'm gonna pop up on my rack and I'm gonna use the wall for a little bit of support. I really wanna drive all the weight into my calves. And there are two ways that you can actually do a calf raise. You can do bent knee, which works the soleus, and then you can do straight leg, which works the majority of the gastroc, which is the muscle on the outside that you see the most. The soleus will help fill out the calf, so you wanna make sure that you work both. So let's start with stiff raises. I'm gonna drop my heels gently, and I'm gonna reach up as high as I can. I wanna pretend like I'm looking over a brick wall and I can't see what's on the other side. I wanna keep a nice, steady cadence with the majority of the weight driving through the ball of my foot. I'll get a little bit of a hold at the top and then get a nice stretch as I come down. Now, one of the things you can also do is flex the anterior tibialis. That is your shin muscle. Anterior tibialis or tibialis anterior. So you can flex that now at the bottom, which will give you a little bit more mobility and create a tighter squeeze when you get to the top of your calf raise. So that's the straight leg. That works the majority of the gastroc. Remember, that's what you see on the outside. Now I'm gonna go bent knee and we're gonna work the soleus. So all I'm gonna do here is bend at my knees. And I'm gonna bend as much as I can to get as much stretch in my Achilles as possible. Once I have this position, I maintain the same position at my knee throughout the entire range of motion. So I'm not straightening my knee anymore. I'm maintaining the same exact position. I'm making sure that I apply a ton of force directly into my rack. And that is going to give me the best contraction in my soleus. The third exercise I'm going to show you to bulletproof your knees is the kettlebell single leg RDL. This one targets the hamstrings and the glutes, and you work on balance and coordination at the same time. So it's a real important exercise in the entire sequence. 35 pounds, we'll see how many kilos that is. That's 16 kilos with the single leg RDL. We take a slight bend in our posted leg. So I'm gonna do my left leg first. So I've got a slight bend in my left leg. I'm gonna take my right leg and it's gonna move right with my spine. So as I lower, there's no break in the spine. You'll see my shoulders and my leg is at the same exact angle. And then I'm gonna drive up. Now, as I went down, I put tension in my hamstrings and my glutes. So slowly, I lean forward at the waist. This is my leg that I have less balance. And the slower you go, the more you're gonna find that you need to balance. Stiff arms, drive up powerfully with the hamstrings and the glutes. So we'll lean forward. Everything moves at the same time. There is no more bend in the knee. So as I come up, that knee stays flexed in that slightly bent knee position. Same thing, opposite leg. Slowly come down, stretch out that hamstring. Now, in this position, I can bend at my thoracic spine to get more depth. But I don't want to do that because it adds to mobility in an area that I already have a tremendous amount of mobility. And it takes pressure off of the hamstrings and glutes. So you want to make sure you maintain that nice straight back, drive the weight into the hand and glutes. You'll also have tension slightly in the lower back, but not much, and drive back up. So in real time, this is about the speed you want to take. A little hold, drive up and squeeze. Little hold, drive up and squeeze. You can also flex the glute on the leg that you raise in the back. So I can flex this up extra tight, and then come back up. It pre-exhausts that glute slightly more when I go back to this leg. So we want to take 20 single leg RDLs. Before we move on to our last exercise, the kettlebell reverse lunge. This is the one I said you may use dumbbells as a substitute. It really doesn't make a difference. It's just a little bit easier to work with kettlebells in this position. I'm using 35-pound kettlebells. I'm gonna start with my feet centered. So you'll see they're about 4 inches apart. With my core tight, my arms locked into my body, I'm gonna take a step back. I'm gonna make sure that I bend at the ankle all the way down. If you notice, I have my kettles positioned with a palms backwards position. You can also turn to a neutral position. I want to engage my hands, glutes, and then finish hard with my quads and glutes at the same time. So reverse lunge, opposite side, maintaining a nice neutral, slightly hinged position forward, and drive up. My goal here is to get 20 reps as well. And I'm going to slowly turn to the side in a second so you see what it looks like from the front. So from the front position, you'll see as I take my leg back, it's not knocked in. I have it slightly positioned out. I can tap the floor, or I can stay about 1 inch off the floor for a little more tension, and then drive, if I don't get my foot stuck in the back, that'll probably make the blooper roll, up to the front. So you'll see as I come out, my knee is flared slightly, and it gives me a nice strong position as I come all the way up. So we'll go back to the side. I'm gonna take probably about another 4 to 6 reps for you, show you what it looks like in real time. Big squeeze. I'm making sure that I'm paying close attention to detail, engaging all the muscles that I want to work, and that way I get a real strong position at the knees, and I'm bulletproofed. So if you got that right, you should have also gotten a cardiovascular effect. You're going to want to rest anywhere between 1 and 3 minutes before resuming the sequence. I like to take anywhere between 3 and 5 rounds, 5 rounds preferably. If you're a beginner, try the 3 rounds. Intermediate, try the 4. Advanced, try the 5. The quicker you move through these with concentration and control, the more that you will get out of it. I hope you enjoyed this quick video. I hope your legs are burning. I look forward to seeing you the next time. Let's go.